I believe the idea is to sacrifice oneself, to always give the best of oneself for the happiness of our people, and so that our homeland can shine. So I invite everyone to set new goals for the second quarter, to give the best of themselves, both in service and in everyday life, so that our homeland can continue to shine. As for the various fighting forces on the ground, I want to pay tribute to them here for the exceptional work that has been done throughout the past quarter. We have been able to make significant progress on the ground. We have been able to reclaim areas that were under terrorist control 4 or 5 years ago. We have therefore been able to liberate these areas. Other areas are currently in a phase of consolidation, which is a very significant progress, but also to call on the other forces in these zones, which are in a relative calm, to remain vigilant and on constant watch, because the treachery of the enemy means that when we are in a relative calm and let our guard down, we can often take hits. So it is an invitation to all those who are in a position of relative security to always remain vigilant and not be caught off guard. And to the other forces living for the nation, it is an invitation to all workers to redouble their efforts so that the year 2025 is crowned with success at all levels.
One of the best presidents that United States of America ever had, when still United States was United States, was a man by the name Abraham Lincoln. You know, Abraham Lincoln once told the teacher of his son, or his son's teacher, "Teach my son that no one is greater than him, and he's greater than no one." If you think carefully about those words, they carry a lot of meaning inside them. You know, tell my son that no one is greater than him, and he's greater than no one. Those are the words of Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher. The same man, Abraham Lincoln, went ahead and said, or rather he defined the most famous quote about democracy. He said that democracy is a government for the people. It is also a government by the people. And it is also a government with the people. For, with, and by. So a democratic government should allow all these three premises to be met. But is that really the case? Anywhere that we have the so-called custodians of morality, custodians of humanity, we really don't have democracy. They don't give a damn about morality or democracy in any way whatsoever. You see, in a democratic government, who rules is the winner, a person with whom is chosen by the people. But sometimes the West, they are really not that. They may say that they practice democracy, but in their own countries, not in African countries, South American countries, Asian countries, mostly Southeast Asian countries. No. They plant puppets. That is what they do. Someone who will ease in their thievery works, right? So I look back right now and I'm looking at Ibrahim Traore, a man with whom the West has labeled as a dictator, a man who oppresses his people, a man who steals resources belonging to his people to benefit himself and to keep himself in power, which is a total lie. You see, I say this a lot. If you want to kill a dog, give it a bad name. Just give it a bad name. Even your neighbor will help you kill that bad dog. According to you or according to them, it's bad. But is it really bad, right? Is it really bad? Is Traore a bad guy? No. But Traore says something about democracy. I believe we should listen to him. I shall get back with a deeper critical analysis, and let's dive in.
And as for the general public, I would invite people to be vigilant, because today more than ever, the stateless, the enemies of the nation are very active, and you will be able to notice it. On the lagoon side, they have been gathering for several days. Their objective is to make Burkina Faso relive the events of '87, but forgetting that times have changed and we are on a war footing we are waiting for them firmly. They're mercenaries in their actions. And I want to say it, we will be ruthless. They can continue to dream, but Burkina will move forward. And that is why, since the last time in Zignare, I have been inviting everyone to be very vigilant, not to give in to manipulation. As you can see, their action boils down to disinformation, manipulation, subversion. Everyone must therefore remain calm, with the objective in sight, to avoid being misled. Because, we will also be unsparing towards those who allow themselves to be manipulated. Only those who are greedy, those who want everything for themselves, can be manipulated by these stateless individuals. Let's stay focused. And if we need to say it loud and clear here, we are not in a democracy. We are indeed in a popular progressive revolution. Everyone needs to understand that. And it's even more surprising that those who are supposed to be intellectuals, who have been educated, can imagine that a country can develop in democracy. That's false. Let them name a single country that has developed in democracy. It's not possible. Democracy is only the culmination. We inevitably go through a revolution, and we are indeed in a revolution. For those who hadn't understood, we say it again loud and clear. Everyone needs to internalize this, and our role to communicate, to explain, to make people understand what our revolution is. We will continue to play it. So, this question of democracy or libertinism, of action or expression, has no place. I said it once. As much as you think you are free to speak and act, the other is also free to speak and act. And there, we end up with a society of disorder. And as it happens, it is fitting that we are in the midst of celebrating patriotic days. The theme is, in fact, order and discipline. We do not make a revolution in disorder. It is impossible. And order, we are going to establish order and discipline so that we can progress. Because social, economic, political, and ideological reforms need order and discipline. And everyone has a role to play in this. So, embrace the revolution, because many people, for 2 years now, have boarded the ship out of opportunism. But we are surfing on giant waves. We are in the storm. We are facing very strong headwinds. And those people, they will never be able to stay in the boat. Gradually, they will fall into the water and you will see them. But we will continue, because our goal is to find calm waters and be able to navigate. When we leave the storm on the calm waters, I think we will surf without any problem. So, invite everyone to be vigilant, because the enemy knows how to recruit and is still recruiting traitors. Just a few days ago, traitors were arrested. And who do I call traitors? It's those who are among us, who continue to work, to be agents for embassies of imperialist countries established in Burkina Faso. Some have been arrested, and we will continue to unmask others. They are there in our administration, they are there in civil society organizations, they are there in political organizations, and they manipulate others to lead them down paths that are, in any case, contrary to the progress of our homeland. And it is when we arrest them that we realize they are indeed agents of these countries, of the embassies of these imperialist countries also established in Burkina. Let's remain vigilant, because our revolution does not please many people. These local lackeys and sub-prefects who are there to execute the orders of their master, believing they can put an end to our revolution, should understand that we have taken all the necessary measures. And I say it once again, we will be ruthless and without remorse towards those who think they can stand in the way of the development of our homeland. We will continue our revolution. We will develop our infrastructure, whether in health, education, or road infrastructure. We will develop our industry, transform what we want, and consume what we have transformed, Burkina will shine. Despite those who are still nostalgic for the year 87, I repeat it. So, stay focused, stay vigilant, set your paths for the coming quarter and for the rest of the year, and we will remain on this path to victory. We will continue the fight on the ground to reclaim our various areas, and I can assure you that the progress made, the territories reclaimed in this first quarter are of strategic importance and have allowed us to establish ourselves up to the border. And that is very remarkable. We will therefore continue in this direction, zone by zone, step by step, to clean the territory and reclaim the entirety of our country. Thank you all. Have a good week. And good luck for the quarter that is beginning. Be those who also convey our ideology among the masses. Thank you. Have a very good day, everyone. And may God bless our dear homeland. The homeland or death, we shall overcome.
That is Ibrahim Traore, the man with whom has set an example, a perfect example. The only African leader present today that has been able to bring everyone who is black together all over the continent. We have so many black leaders that I myself appreciate. I love Mama Mia Motley of Barbados. She's so vocal, she's so well-spoken. I also love Pandey of South Africa. She's well-spoken, she's thoughtful, you know. We have so many of them. I have Dr. Arikana Chihombori Kwao. But with Ibrahim Traore, he's just a different species. He's a different man, you know. First of all these people I have named, they are not presidents. Only Ibrahim Traore is the president. And the president is always the commander-in-chief of a country's armed forces. So he's the highest ranking officer or highest ranking individual in the military hierarchies. That's a very powerful man. And that's always the president. He's so much loved. He's so much loved, you know. Look at how he's dressing. The man is just putting on a military attire. Not that he can't afford suits. He can. But he's putting on a military attire. His military attire is to show you a number of things. First of all, it is to show you that this man, he is not comfortable. He is not there to get riches and to acquire luxury. No. This man is there to fight and to liberate his own country. And what does a fighter put on? A fighter puts on military attires, combat attires. That is what a soldier does. You know, you don't go to a fight with a suit. You don't go to a fight with fancy shoes, with gold chains and Lamborghinis and rings, golden rings and diamond rings. You don't do that. You don't do that. A true leader does not do that. We have so many African countries that are very poor. Almost all African countries are very, very poor. All African countries are poor. Let me say so. The level is what differs. But some leaders do not give a damn about it. What they care about is the riches, how much they can gain, how much they can, you know, reap out of the country's system, you know. People will languish in poverty, but they don't care as long as they have what is their own. And that is what makes Ibrahim unique. Ibrahim is a game changer. Something that we are used to, something that was slowly becoming a norm, is not becoming a norm. Is now being seen as a vice. We started seeing corruption as a norm. We started saying, oh, you're going to power. That's a very quick way to get rich. Get rich quickly. Bribe some people, make some fake friends, you know, invest on the election. The election in Africa is like a business. Yeah, it is a business. But Ibrahim Traore tells us that the West are the ones who facilitate all this. Ibrahim Traore tells us that they come in the name of bringing democracy. But what they bring is aristocracy. And they bring dictatorship, you know. indirect dictatorship, something which we saw in Kenya the other day. Young men were rebelling against the government, you know. The IMF was pulling strings. President Ruto was making amendments. President Ruto was making agreements. He was making covenants behind people. But Kenyans refused all that, you know, because he was a puppet leader. Ruto was a puppet leader. You see, he was serving his masters. You know whose masters he's serving, right? So Ibrahim Traore is just a different species. Today in Africa, you can't just speak your mind. You might get abducted. I might get abducted for calling the name of Ruto in this video. Because I called his name, I get abducted. Because you say this and that, you get up. Leaders should never be like that. If citizens love you, they won't call your name in a bad way. But if you give them a reason to do so, they will do so and they'll shine in doing so. Ibrahim Traore has shown the whole world that Africa is not a place that you think of becoming, you just come and do whatever you want to do, you walk away. This man chased away the French, he chased away the US military. He is not against people, he is against oppressive governments. You should get that right. He is very welcoming, by the way. I hear a lot from the people who have visited his country, Burkina Faso. He's so very, very welcoming. And the people themselves are very, very kind. Yeah. So guys, I'm going to end the video here. Share your thoughts about what Ibrahim Traore has said in this video about democracy and the West's hypocrisy. Right? Share your thoughts in the comment section. I'd really love to hear from you. Remember, this is EFK Original Documentaries. You like what I do, give a subscribe, give a support us on Patreon. You can give whatever you feel fit. Remember, it's not about the money, it's about the message. Yes. See you in the next one, good people.